It's a little bit funny to me. So many people are really obsessed with how many something something sells, right? Like, hey, I wonder how many copies of this sold or how many this sold or whatever. It's like they use this as a metric of whether something is good or whether something is bad. And I always look at it in a much different kind of aspect than that, because I always think that there is much more to anything in life than just how well it does sales wise or whatever. And if we only based ourselves around things that realistically had sold well or did well, then we'd be limiting ourselves in so many different ways that it's unbelievable. Think about this for a second, right? If we only went to the place that sold the most cheeseburgers, right? And I'm not a cheeseburger guy, but we would go to what? We would go to, McDonald's. They've sold the most cheeseburgers, so they got to have the best ones, right? No, they don't. There's a mob mentality. There's price. There's a lot of different factors into why people go to McDonald's. The name McDonald's is huge, so people go there, right? Does Kentucky Fried Chicken have the best chicken? No. But everybody goes there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they sell the most chicken, even though there's a tons of other places that have better chicken if you want it. Same thing with video games. Is PlayStation selling the most? Yes. Are they the best? No. There's a factually better hardware, factually better services, and factually more first-party software in 2023 from Xbox than there is from PlayStation. So we have to look at things factually, and that's what I'm doing. So when people start pointing to this and go, oh, well, look, Xbox is selling poorly or whatever, that to me doesn't mean anything, or doesn't mean a hill of beans. First of all, you have to look at this, the source, and say, is this something that's legit? Because according to this, they're saying that it's official data or whatever, but I've seen stuff like this before. Remember last generation, Remedy supposedly leaked the total Xbox One sales or whatever, and that turned out to be fake. Microsoft typically doesn't like providing data about the sales of Xbox consoles or sales of the games, but it looks like there is a little bit of this thanks to a Idea at Xbox presentation over at the big festival in Brazil. There's a snapshot from the presentation. It appears to reveal that 21 plus million Xbox Series X and S consoles have been sold, which results in over 79 million combined sales of Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S so far. So this is the thing with this, right? So that would, you can do 79 minus 21, 58 million, and that they're trying to say that 58 million Xbox One sold. I find that number highly dubious, and the reason being is Microsoft stopped production on, like the Xbox One X and Xbox One S pretty much after leading up to the release of the Series X and S in 2020. In March of 2020, AMD leaked the number of GPUs they shipped combined between Xbox and PlayStation had announced whatever it was, 115 million consoles sold or whatever it was. And if you added them both up, it led to like 41 or 42 million Xbox Ones being sold. And that's a much more reliable number to me. They didn't sell an additional, 18 million Xbox Ones in that amount of time. So I take this as a little bit of a dubious type of thing anyway. Obviously, it says, for what it's worth, the website VG Charts is suggesting the Series X and S have just surpassed 22 million. While the PS5 is sitting at 38 million and the Switch is at 126 million, probably well past that. Xbox clearly trails the PS5 and Switch now. Obviously, according to this, it says Microsoft will be happy with the numbers. Now, first of all, I want to say this. I don't know that these numbers are real. Second thing that I would say is if Microsoft is lagging behind, they really have nobody else to blame but themselves in the fact that they actually went out of their way to cloud and focus on cloud and trying to get xCloud going into places. And that's kind of what they did, right? They sacrificed the ability to get Xbox Series X's and S's in people's homes. And how did they do this? Well, they did it by, they using the Xbox Series X for cloud purposes. And that to me is, that sucks. I'm just being honest. It's one of those things that kind of sucks, and it's one of those things that when I look at it and I go, Microsoft can do better in this particular instance, and I hope that they can. It's one of the things that I honestly hope that they get right. I hope that it's one of the things that they make better. And I hope that it's something that honestly Microsoft kind of realized the mistake and rights that wrong. That's the thing that I hope really happens sooner rather than later. Obviously it was a wrong thing to do. They were thinking, like a lot of people thought the cloud was it. Sony thought the cloud was it in 2014, right? Anyway, like that's the funny thing to me anyway, is that honestly, when you look at these things and you look at how these things go, 2014, Sony was like, hey, we've got this, we bought Gaikai, and, we're doing this and this and this. And to me, it was always so silly because quite honestly, it's just one of those things that was never going to take off because cloud gaming is different than cloud music or watching something, you know what I mean? And like even me, if I can, I would much prefer to be able to kind of do something cloud-based with with movies or TV. With games, it's so bad. It gets pixelated. It's just not a good look. I don't like the way that it is. No matter how good they think they get it, it's never great. I always prefer like the actual hardware itself. And when it comes to music, I'm the old guy that still uses CDs, and I have a record collection. Like when I was a kid, my parents used to take us to this place called the Record Warehouse, and I used to buy, records, and I had a record player and a tape player, and and that was the thing that I loved doing back then, and it's like those things sound so much better and uncompressed compared to like the digital music of like a Spotify or whoever, Apple or whatever. And the same thing with movies. Like I have a good enough internet connection now to watch and stream a 4K movie through whoever, right? But I still buy 4K Blu-rays. Why? I can tell you why. Value. Because I get the 4K Blu-ray, I get the regular Blu-ray, and I get a digital code for the movie as well. So I can get all three of those things for the price of just a digital code. People really are paying extra for like a convenience situation, and like I don't do that, right? I'll pre-order if there's a movie that I really want to see. I'll pre-order it, the 4K. I'll get it still the same day it releases or whatever, and I can still watch it digitally if I want later on. But usually I always have the first viewing, and because I have a big TV, and I always watch the first viewing through that means, and that's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing. And I hope that honestly that Microsoft kind of pushes the Xbox hard. Like I think that Starfield's going to be the game that kind of pushes it, and we're going to start seeing a lot of things coming out in favor of Xbox in a very short matter of time. So I would love to hear what you guys all think, though. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe, rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thank you all. Crap Gamer out.